Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today we're digging into a fresh batch of tech news. This comes straight from Andrew Kagan's newsletter, Technical News You Can Possibly Use, the issue from May 16th, 2025.
Right. It's always packed with updates across the Microsoft world.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So our mission today is, well, to cut through all that noise, we want to pull out the really interesting bits, the stuff you might actually find useful.
Yeah, give you the highlights without overwhelming you.
A quick, but hopefully thorough look at what's new.
Okay, let's jump right in. First stop, Azure. Now, there's a video mentioned that summarizes updates from May 9th. Good for a broad overview, maybe?
Yeah, probably a good starting point if you want the quick flyby.
But a couple of specifics caught my eye. First, subnet level peering overview.
Ah, yes.
If you're dealing with Azure networks, that sounds, well, pretty important.
It really is. Think about your virtual networks in Azure, like different compartments.
Yeah. Subnet level peering lets you connect specific parts of those compartments directly and securely, instead of, opening up the whole network.
So more granular control.
Precisely. Finer control over traffic, better security posture. That video probably walks through setting it up, why you'd use it.
Got it. Then there's dev containers and GitHub code spaces. The promise is a simpler development experience.
Which is always welcome news, right? For developers, for the teams managing them.
Definitely.
Look, setting up dev environments can be a real headache. Consistency is tough.
Tell me about it.
So dev containers and code spaces offer these prepackaged environments. All the tools, the dependencies, they're just there.
So developers can just start coding.
Pretty much. Less time fiddling with local setups, more time coding. Faster, more consistent.
Nice. And for the AI folks using Azure, fine-tuning models in Azure AI Foundry is now available. That sounds like a big step.
Oh, it is. Before, you often had to use these powerful AI models kind of as is. Now, being able to fine-tune them with your specific data, that's a game changer. You take a general model, tailor it to your unique tasks, your data set.
And get much better results for your specific needs.
Exactly. Better accuracy, better relevance, huge potential there.
Okay, let's shift gears. Microsoft 365. First up, a video about creating your first Copilot agent in SharePoint. AI is just weaving itself into everything, isn't it?
It really is. And think about this, an AI assistant right in SharePoint.
Okay, what could it do?
Well, automate things like routing documents maybe, answering FAQs, even summarizing content. It could seriously boost productivity right where people are working.
Interesting. And there's also a new dashboard feature in all SharePoint sites.
Yeah, that sounds useful for visibility.
How so?
Think of it like a central spot for each site. A single view of key info, activity, metrics.
So less is digging around.
Exactly. Yeah. Instead of clicking through lists and libraries, you get a clear overview. Makes managing the site and just staying informed much easier.
Good point. Now, for people wanting the absolute latest, there's a Microsoft 365 and Power Platform call on June 13th. Video available afterwards, too.
Yeah, those community calls are often really valuable.
Why is that?
You often get product team members themselves sharing updates, doing demos, talking best practices. If you use M365 or the Power Platform, it's a smart way to stay current.
Good tip. And rounding out M365, a video from the M365 Community Conference, Keynote Innovation in the Era of AI. Sounds high level.
Keynotes usually are. They lay out the big picture, the strategic direction, how Microsoft sees AI shaping the future of M365. Useful for understanding the long-term trends.
Okay, moving on. Power Platform and Dynamics 365.
Right.
There's a whole playlist on Copilot Studio for Power Platform makers. That sounds pretty in-depth.
It does. Copilot Studio is all about empowering people, even those without deep coding skills, to build their own AI tools.
Like chatbots and automations.
Exactly, yeah. Within the Power Platform. So a whole playlist suggests, a good set of resources to really learn how to use it.
Makes sense. And for those of us wrestling with data in Power BI and Fabric, a video with quick tips for finding and filtering items, little things can make a big difference there.
Oh, absolutely. When you've got loads of data, tons of reports, just finding what you need quickly is key. These tips probably offer some good shortcuts, save you time.
We also see declarative Copilot agents with SSO, sign-on.
Single sign-on.
So easier access to these agents.
That's the idea. If you're already logged into your Microsoft environment, you likely won't need to log in again just to use the Copilot agent. Seamless access makes people more likely to actually use them.
Smooth things out. Okay. And for deployment folks, Deployment Hub and Default Pipeline Rule is generally available for D365 and Power Platform. Sounds like process improvement.
Definitely. Managing how you move applications from, say, dev to test to production, that's application lifecycle management.
Right.
This deployment hub and the pipeline rules probably offer a more central, maybe more automated way to do that. More consistency, fewer errors.
Always good. And finally here, CDN and Web Application Firewall for Power Pages, GovCloud. Specific to government users.
Yeah, GovCloud always has those extra security and compliance layers.
So what do CDN and Buckoff bring?
CDN, Content Delivery Network, speeds up website performance. ODWF, Web Application Firewall, adds security against web attacks. Offering these specifically for Power Pages and GovCloud shows they're focused on meeting those unique government requirements.
Got it. Let's pivot now. DevOps, SRE, infrastructure.
Okay.
There's this interesting thought-provoking line. Infrastructure eats strategy.
I like that. It's true, though.
That's a core idea.
That your grandest strategic plans can just fall apart if the underlying the servers, networks, systems isn't solid.
So the foundation has to be strong.
Absolutely essential. Your strategy depends on it.
Makes sense. Then we have visual design principles in action. Seems relevant for anyone building interfaces.
Very relevant. Good design isn't just about looking nice. It's about making things intuitive, efficient, easy to use.
Improves the whole user experience.
Massively. Reduces confusion, makes the software actually effective.
And a classic developer topic. Documentation done right. A developer's guide. Good docs are crucial.
Oh, absolutely critical. Clear, accurate documentation is the backbone of any decent software project. Makes everything easier, understanding code, onboarding new people, fixing bugs.
Building better software, ultimately.
Yeah, right. And then, thinking about AI again, there are resources on running AI workloads responsibly in the cloud, important ethical and practical stuff. Crucial, really. As AI gets baked into more systems, we have to think about responsible deployment.
Like what?
Data privacy, potential bias in the algorithms, fairness, transparency, even the environmental cost of running these huge models. These resources probably give guidance on tackling those issues.
Important considerations.
Yeah.
And a practical tool, CodeRabbit, integrating with VS Code for AI-powered code reviews.
Yeah, tools like CodeRabbit can act like a developer's assistant.
How so?
They can automatically flag potential bugs, style problems, areas for improvement in the code, helps catch things early.
Leading to better code quality.
Hopefully. And a more efficient dev process.
Okay, next big area. Data, analytics, and AI. Looks like a lot happening here.
Always a busy space.
There's an IE article mentioned, AI models embrace human-like reasoning. That sounds significant.
Coming from IE, yeah, that's noteworthy.
Yeah.
If models are genuinely showing more human-like reasoning, it means they're getting better at understanding context, making inferences, solving problems more subtly, moving beyond just spotting patterns.
Wow. And building on that, the next wave of AI, intelligent agents working together. Sounds like AI teamwork.
It's a fascinating research direction. Multiple AI agents, maybe specialized ones, collaborating on complex goals.
The more sophisticated autonomous systems.
That's the potential. Tackling problems that are too big for a single AI right now. Like a team of AI assistants working together.
Cool concept. On the practical side for data folks, a video titled, The Only Data Cleaning Framework You Need. Bold claim.
Yeah, that is bold. But data cleaning, finding, and fixing errors in data sets is absolutely fundamental. You can't trust your analysis or AI if the data's bad.
True.
So a solid framework could really streamline that process. It's often tedious, but totally necessary.
And AI is even getting into SQL preview of Copilot for SQL Analytics in Microsoft Fabric.
Yeah, this could really change things for data analysts.
How?
Imagine describing the insight you want in plain English, and Copilot writes the SQL query for you.
Whoa. That would open up data analysis to more people.
Potentially, yeah. Make it easier to get value out of databases.
For the really advanced AI work, there are resources on a deep dive into RAG with Transformers, DPR, FAISS. That's a mouthful.
It is. Let's unpack it slightly. RAG is retrieval augmented generation, basically, making language models smarter by letting them look up external info.
Okay.
Transformers are the AI architecture, and DPR and FAISS are fancy ways to search and retrieve that information really efficiently from huge data sets.
So this is about building more knowledgeable AI, especially for things like Q&A.
Exactly, combining these cutting-edge techniques.
And Microsoft's doing its own research here with Microsoft's Artist RL framework for LLM agents.
Right. Artist likely focuses on using reinforcement learning training through trial and error to make large language models act as better, more autonomous agents.
Suggests a big investment in LLM agent capabilities.
Definitely. A dedicated framework points to serious effort.
And finally, in this section, protocols for agent interoperability. MCP, ACP, O2A, ANP, standardizing how agents talk to each other.
Seems crucial, right? If you want that vision of collaborative AI agents to work, they need common languages, common rules to interact.
Like standards for computer networks.
Kind of, yeah. These protocols, MCP, ACP, A2A, ANP, are probably about setting those standards so different agents can work together smoothly.
Makes sense. Okay, let's talk security, compliance, and privacy, always top of mind.
Always.
There's a video on MFA hacking how to defend. MFA is vital, but we need to know its weaknesses too.
Absolutely. Multi-factor authentication adds a great layer, but it's not foolproof. Attackers are trying to bypass it.
So this video covers how they do it.
Likely, yeah. And more importantly, practical steps you can take to strengthen your MFA setup and defend against those attacks.
Good to know. Also available, Microsoft Cybersecurity Reference Architectures. Sounds like blueprints.
That's a good way to put it. They provide comprehensive guidance, best practices, recommended tech, patterns for designing secure IT systems using Microsoft tools.
Helpful for planning. Then there's a comparison. Cloudflare tunnels versus VPN. Different ways to connect securely.
Right. They both aim for secure connections, but they work differently and suit different needs. This probably breaks down those differences, helps you choose the right tool for your situation.
Useful comparison. And security standards evolve. FedRAMP goes cloud native. Important for those working with the U.S. government.
Yeah, FedRAMP is the U.S. government standard for vetting cloud services. Cloud native probably means the standard is adapting to modern cloud tech like containers and microservices.
Making it easier for modern solutions to meet government security needs.
That would be the goal, yeah.
Okay. Managing external users. There's Microsoft Entra External ID Protection.
Increasingly important. Organizations need to give partners, customers, etc., access, but securely.
So this helps manage those external identities.
Likely provides features to manage them securely, control access, protect against threats targeting those external accounts.
And for proactive security, advanced threat detection with Defender XDR community queries. Sharing queries sounds powerful.
It is. Defender XDR gathers data from everywhere. Community queries are shared searches that use that data to actively hunt for suspicious stuff. Help security teams find threats faster.
Threat hunting. Got it. Container security is also highlighted. Container supply chain security and Defender for cloud.
Yeah, containers are everywhere now. Securing the whole process from code to runtime is critical.
So Defender for cloud helps with that.
Probably offers scanning for vulnerabilities in images, securing registries, monitoring what's running, end-to-end security for containers.
And AI helps here too. Automating lifecycle management with Security Copilot in Entra.
Right. Security Copilot is the AI analysis tool. Integrating it with Entra, the identity service, suggests it can help automate routine tasks.
Like user onboarding, offboarding, managing access.
Exactly. Applying policies consistently frees up the security team for more complex issues.
Makes sense. Okay, let's look at learning and certifications. Keeping skills sharp is vital.
Never stops, does it?
There's video. Transforming unstructured data with LLMs and agents. Sounds like a key skill now.
Huge amounts of data are unstructured, text, audio, video. Using LLMs and agents to make sense of it, extract value. That's becoming super important across many jobs.
And circling back to agent communication, a resource on what every AI engineer should know about A2A, MCP, and ACP.
Yeah, reinforcing that point.
Right.
If you're building systems with multiple AIs, you need to understand how they talk to each other. Those protocols are key.
For more immediate productivity, 6 Outlook rules to streamline your workflow. Practical tips.
Sometimes the simple things make a big difference. Managing email effectively with rules can save a surprising amount of time and hassle.
True. And for broader learning, cloud and AI skilling resources from Microsoft Learn.
Always a great place to point people. Microsoft Learn has tons of free resources, courses, paths to certification on Azure, AI, and lots more. Great for upskilling.
Definitely. Okay, finally, let's hit industry news and trends. Quantum computing seems big this time.
Yeah, several items on that.
Videos on entering the era of reliable quantum computing and Microsoft's path to scalable quantum computing. Sounds like real progress.
It suggests the field is maturing. moving beyond pure theory towards more reliable, potentially scalable systems. Quantum could be massively disruptive, so watching Microsoft's path is interesting.
And looking even further ahead, what will it take to build the quantum internet?
Wow, that's ambitious. A network based on quantum principles. It promises things like unhackable communication, distributed quantum computing. Huge hurdles, but a fascinating goal.
The potential synergy between quantum and AI is also mentioned. Quantum plus AI for hybrid scientific applications.
Combining quantum's raw power with AI's analytical smarts, that could unlock breakthroughs in science, drug discovery, material science, analyzing massive data sets. Things impossible today.
Exciting potential. Back to more immediate AI uses. Top 3 agentic AI use cases for IT ops. Concrete examples.
Right. Using AI agents to automate IT tasks, monitoring systems, detecting problems, maybe even fixing common issues automatically, making IT operations more efficient.
And a huge industry move. OpenAI acquires Windsurf for $3 major AI shift.
Whoa, $3 billion. Yeah, that's significant. An acquisition that size signals a major strategic play by OpenAI. Acquiring tech, talent, market position, it could definitely shake up the AI landscape.
Absolutely. Well, that's an incredible amount of ground we've just covered.
It really is. Shows the sheer pace of change, doesn't it? Across Microsoft and the whole tech industry.
Staying on top of it all definitely takes effort.
It does. But hopefully, this run-through of Andrew Kagan's newsletter gave you a good snapshot, pointed you to some things worth digging into, maybe.
Yeah, definitely food for thought. So as we wrap up, you look at all this: intelligent agents getting smarter, AI transforming data analysis and security, quantum computing on the horizon. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? How are these technologies going to fundamentally change not just our jobs, but, the whole way we interact with technology, our digital lives in the pretty near future?
It's a huge question. A lot to think about.
Definitely. Something for you to ponder. And maybe check out some of those resources we mentioned, if anything particularly caught your interest.